Wow.
What color is that ball?
Pink.
How do you spell that?
G-R-E-N.
That's good. For us, this seems simple, but for an orphan in Nigeria, this can be their gateway into academic and overall life success. My name is Jenna Smith.
I'm Tina Liu. I'm Miliana Boucher.
I'm Madeline Hiller. I'm Raven Danich.
As Boudica Orphan Care, our goal is to implement new learning skills that will enhance the students' ability to learn and retain information.
The challenges that we are facing is helping children in Nigeria aging from 6 to 11 years old who have trouble with the basic skills that we all might take for granted. These children have an amazing teacher, but yet still they have trouble connecting. With our help, we hope to gain comfortability with the students. We also found that the students have a very extensive schedule. They have multiple subjects in a day and are unable to remember the information given. We also noticed that the students are learning based on a lecture system. This system makes it hard for the students to become engaged and remember the information.
So, in regards to the problems that Raven just told us about, we suggest the implementation of an interactive workbook, which would help solve the problems of both the timid orphans with the teacher and the extensive schedule. The interactive workbook is unlike any textbook that you've seen before. In fact, it emphasizes pictures, diagrams, and visual aids, all things which are proven to help with retention and comprehension of the information. And the success of this system can be seen even in our everyday lives. We're always so much more engaged when the teacher will put a picture up on a PowerPoint than when there's a paragraph that we have to read ourselves. Each student will have their own interactive workbook, which means that as they grow in independence and grow in their skill, they'll be able to work on these workbooks at home on their own. Not only that, but each page of the interactive workbook will correspond with the teacher page, which we will give to Tama, our teacher. These pages will not only have the answers to the questions, but will also have ways in which she can enhance their learning. Judges, there are more examples of those that were handed out at the beginning. So if we're using the example that you see in front of you, ways to enhance their learning in this example would be for them to be able to pass around a ball together, that way they could work on their counting, or sing along to a YouTube video in order to count with their hands. This would help break the barriers in between the orphans and Tama and help them become more comfortable in their learning environment. Not only that, but this will help increase skills that are important in everyday life, such as cooperation and teamwork. Now I would like to have my partner Madeline speak about why we think that this interactive workbook will help reduce the amount of things they have to learn, but improve the quality of their education.
So our next concept is staggered learning, which is influenced by the European education system. Instead of doing every subject every day, the students work on one group of subjects one day, and then the next day they do another one. So to encourage this system, we will be giving the orphans 2 different workbooks, one for English and one for math. As an example, as seen on the screens, on Monday they'll come in and work on their English workbook, and then they'll learn a life skill, such as cooking. And then on Thursday, when they next come in, they'll work with their math workbook and learn something like hygiene. It's important for them to learn about these life skills because they haven't had the opportunity to learn about them at home, and so they can learn about it now with their teacher. Our concept of staggered learning and the separation of the workload, and the separation of the workload will allow them to go more into depth with their education and increase the amount that they can absorb their information. Tina, how much will all of this cost?
Well, Madeline, this actually won't cost as much as one might expect it to. In total, our plan amounts to 78,853.9 naira, which is actually only half of our budget and will be able to sustain our plan for a minimum of 6 months. Judges, the exact details of our budget has been provided to you. Because we're only using half of our budget, that leaves enough resources and room for Tama to be able to continue using our proposed teaching method in order to implement her education plans for the future if she chooses to. To wrap all this up, we strongly believe in the importance of developing an efficient teaching method that will benefit the orphans in a myriad of ways, academically, socially, and beyond. These orphans all have the potential to contribute to society, regardless of wherever they end up in their lives. So, the next time you think that something as simple as just throwing a ball around teaches you nothing, just remember that learning comes in all shapes, colors, and games. Thank you.
And judges, we're going to move it along. So Simon, you're going to start first. We'll go to Stella and then Morgan.
Sure, sounds good. Great job. I had talked a little bit about with you guys about your proposals, and I thought they were very well done. Very articulate, very clear presentation, good use of the slides. I thought I like when you handed out your product. Again, I think that it's very compelling. I think you're not spending a lot of time trying to understand what you're saying because you've got a very good visual representation of the outcome. I was particularly impressed with your use of another educational model from another culture that you brought in, the staggered learning. I thought that was very thoughtful, and I think that was as Marshall's been saying about all the projects, I think you showed a lot of heart and you showed a lot of creativity in adapting a solution from another culture into one that will actually work here. If I had one comment or something that I wanted to hear more of was about Tama. I think you mentioned her name for the first time towards maybe the first third or first half, and I was interested in learning a little bit more about her. And that's not a criticism of the solution, which again I thought was deeply thoughtful, very well researched, and I know from talking to you that you were talking to her very often. I would have wanted you to perhaps share some of those conversations a little bit more, but an excellent job all around.
So thank you, ladies, for putting this together. Your slides and the PowerPoint was good. At least it showed us what you were talking about. I particularly like the 2 + 2 and with the, not just writing out the numbers, but actually drawing I thought we were going to go out and start playing soccer or something. So this is really helpful because kids learn through visual. What am I saying now? The book is kicking in. But kids learn from pictures, and that's why picture books sell a lot. And their attention span is real short, so the more you can interactively keep them interested in whatever you're doing, the better for you. So this is good. And then I like what you said about teaching them cooperation and teamwork, because having the staggered learning, I think that was when you pointed that out. Was that it?
We pointed out the cooperation in regard to the group work activities that would be suggested on the teacher page.
Okay. Yeah, where they not just doing the classwork, but also doing other life skills, learning to cook or learning to sew, whatever else, any other thing that you put together for them. That is really good. And then let me see. There's separation of the workload where they have English one day and math another, as opposed to throwing everything in together. And then you pointed out that the lecture system, I don't know why anybody would want to teach kids at that level, in that style. Lectures, usually it's in college, in Nigeria, they will teach, lecturers come in and talk. And you either write what you want or you don't take notes. It's your business until the exams, But in primary schools and elementary schools, they make the teachers write on the board and you copy, and then you all do that. So this is good, but thank you for putting this together and good luck. Thank you. And sorry, the budget. The budget is good, it's not too much. And this is for, is that the budget for 1 month?
Minimum
For 6 months.
For 6 months.
Yes.
This is good. Even though it's good because they have to do the printing of the book and all that. That costs money. So maybe they may find cheaper printing press where this can be printed for them. Because buying the ink, even here inks are expensive, but back home they have the printing press where people actually go, and it's a lot because they are printing it's large scale, it's cheaper. So that might be something you want to look, because I was looking at that price and said 78,000 where did that come from? And then I saw 42K just for the black ink. Yeah, that will takes it from me, I know. So, good luck.
Thank you.
Just continue with the budget piece. I think with the ink, that's 6 packets of them, right? That's 6 packets of them, so each is 7,000. Which it sounds to me like you have, from the way you put it, there's still half the money left. So I think, like with any business, if you can see half your money at the end of the cycle, you've got some cash, to play around and to work with. And if this half continues, is this a yearly thing that they get a budget, or is this a one-time? Is this a one-time money that this person is working with?
So it's a grant, yeah.
It's a one-time grant?
It's a one-time.
Okay, yeah, so there's extra money to do, whatever it is that they want to do to continue to support the business. But overall, I thought this was great. You guys provided some really good information here, good learning tool. As my colleague has said, being able to, one of my pet peeves is a lot of times people bring solutions from other places and just bring them exactly as is, customizing it a little bit so that it fits the environment that you bring in that solution to is always very helpful. So you guys did a wonderful, explanation of how, you can do that. One other thing I would like to add is somehow figuring out a way, because of where the location is. I know you mentioned English, math. How do we translate this into Hausa or whatever language, so that at least, because these are orphans, they don't necessarily always have the advantage of immediately getting into spaces where they can learn English right away. So how do we teach the same concept, but in a language that's easy for them to understand? I think that might be helpful as well as you continue to develop this.
Can I chip in there a bit? Considering the fact that Nigeria's official language is English, right? I would think teaching them English in Hausa.
Well, it could be Hausa, it could be Igbo, it could be Yoruba. It depends
No,
on where the region is.
teaching them the English language in another language?
No, the translation.
Or the translation.
translation
Okay, just to
of
have a
material,
translation of the
yes.
material. Okay, I just wanted to, I was like, are you going to teach them English in
No,
French?
just to translate.
Yeah,
it
the
to
translation,
them,
okay.
to understand.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. I was just messing with my. Marshall, that's her. Oh, is it Umar? Umar's son. Oh, the chief. Sorry. Can we go to Umar?
All right, first and first, what really drew my attention is you guys talking about the relationship between orphans and Itama. This is really, really important, and you just got it. Because if the orphans will not be comfortable with Tama as their teacher, then definitely they will not learn anything. And she mentioned that for you, so that you guys can actually work on it, and this is one of the biggest challenges that could really, really gonna help these kids. Because no matter what, whatever you provide, and they are not comfortable with her, or they are not actually friendly and stuff like that. But I saw you on your budget. It's like you have a lot of like balls and stuff like that. Are they going to have all those stuff?
We found a way to purchase those all with Nigerian websites. That way, shipping will probably be more reliable from the Nigerian website than having to ship it across seas.
So,
And she mentioned that she knew where she could
how
find some.
many?
They all come in packs. So, so like for example, the bone pit balls I think that are on there, they come in 100 packs of 100. So that can sustain them for a while as long as it's not too abused.
This is really amazing because this is something that they know other people who have more opportunity, in other private schools. They used to lay their hands on all these things, and now they have the opportunity to touch it. This is really a big step for them, and it's really going to make them happy. Like, all we look at is that it's not all about training them, but to make them happy, to make them sure that they also belong to the society and they can actually relate with the other kids. So this is really, really amazing, and I will thank you, huge thanks for you guys to come up with all these wonderful solutions. So nice job, guys.
So you definitely caught everyone's attention right at the start. Did you guys come up with that as a team? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice job. And that's the thing I want to really emphasize about you guys. You guys are always there for each other. Like, as you guys are trading talking points, you guys are encouraging each other. You were there for the entire time. That really shows an incredible amount of teamwork that you don't see every day. And I really, really appreciate that about all of you. Even when you got into bumps, no one was upset, no facial expressions were given. You were just looking. Yeah. That doesn't happen all the time. No. There are times you see presentations and someone made a bump and you got someone's like, ah. And that's not what a team does. You guys were there pushing for each other at the time. There's a lot of heart. I love that. And then, more importantly, you guys have really great ideas. And I really can see how this can actually do change in an interactive way because you've seen the environment. Like, you're not say, let's buy them all iPads or something. You're like, hey, here's physically what we can do right now. We can use the resources around them. It's tailored right to them and showcasing how to make a better world for these kids, for their future. And that's just amazing. I want to give you guys a round of applause.
Join the International Leadership and Business Summit. Transform the world.